Today's the last day of February, so let's sit down and make a budget for March. Now, when I'm building my monthly budget, it's important to realize that I am 1 month ahead on my bills and expenses. And that means at the beginning of last year, maybe, I intentionally started saving and setting aside money out of every paycheck and putting it in my bill account until I had enough saved up to cover exactly 1 month's bills and expenses. So now, when I say I'm budgeting March, I'm actually taking all of my income from February and using that money to pay for all of my expenses in March. So I'm no longer paying March's bills with March's income. It's a great place to be financially. It was my very first financial goal, and I really recommend it for everybody. So I have my monthly budget goals in a tab of my spreadsheet. Oh, it's not letting me touch it. And these are what I used to think that my income and expenses would be. There have been some changes. So, for example, I know now definitively that my paychecks are $2,104.88 and $2,104.86. And so I was using last year's paychecks, but I had some changes to my withholdings, and so that's different, and I can change that in my planning spreadsheet. I need to lower my OutSchool because I have been working significantly less on OutSchool, and I'm not going to be doing any of my spring AP exam classes that were really lucrative for me. I just didn't get enough enrollments this semester. I think it's because I've done a bad job of answering emails on time, and so my classes aren't really being advertised by the platform as much as they used to be. For college, I know I'm going to make $498 bi-weekly, so I'm going to change that estimated income to $996. For social media, this is estimated at $6,000. I definitely don't make $6,000 from social media, so I'm going to drop that to $4,000 just so my planner is a little more accurate. Etsy, I'm going to drop to $400, and you can see that actually puts me negative on my monthly, and that's because I can't afford an extra payment as aggressive as $2,000 a month if I'm on my low end of income. Let's put in exactly how much I can afford. $345 approximately. And that puts me 39 cents over budget in the plan. So this isn't in the actual reality of what I earn. This is just the plan. So this means I'm hitting all my savings goals, I'm covering all of my bills, I've got all of my expenses, and I've got all of my debts. Now when we go into my March tab, as February was going along and I was logging my expenses, I was putting all of my income earned in February into the March tab of my budget spreadsheet so that my March was starting to get filled up. So now I just need to take my actual paychecks and update the planned amount. So my planned OutSchool income was $1,600. We've been sick a lot and I had to cancel a lot of students in February. I only earned $1,300 from OutSchool, which is very, very low for me. For college, the plan was now $996 because I adjusted that, but it's $996.65, so I'm just going to add 65 cents here. And then social media, the plan I just set to $4,000. My reality is that in social media money in February, I did earn $7,238.03. This was a combination of TikTok Shop, TikTok Creator Rewards, sponsored posts, and Amazon commissions. I got my first Amazon commission payout from the little 1/8 sheep hands. If you've ever clicked my link and bought those, I did finally get a payment from that. So I'm going to up my income. And then Etsy I had planned at $400 and my reality in February was only $175. So I wonder if I need to take that plan down a lot to make up for that. Hold on. With that being said, all of my income from February totaled up to $13,920.58. I do not like my social media money to inflate my lifestyle. It's really important to me that my family is living off of the income that I earn from my full-time job and my working hours. For me, social media is a bonus, and I tend to use it to get us financially ahead. So I'm using it for retirement, I'm using it for debt pay down, and I'm using it for savings. We're going to update my planned tax savings. I like to save 25% of my social media and Etsy money. So I'm going to do 25% of the sum of those two categories. Oh, and my OutSchool. I need to set 25% of OutSchool aside. All of my other income sources have taxes already taken out. I'm gonna have to fix my February budget. There's gonna be a separate video though, because this video is supposed to be about planning March's budget. With that being said, that means I need to set aside $2,178.55 for taxes. I like nice even numbers, so I'm going to set aside $2,175 for taxes. This is calculated as 25% of my untaxed income. I actually pay my taxes quarterly using the federal government's tax withholding calculator. I do plan on making a separate video for that when I sit down to do that. I just haven't done so yet. For my other savings categories, I have set amounts that I just do every month. These are my sinking funds, and I spend from these as needed. So kids' activities, I set aside $250 a month. This is for sports, classes, toys, games, books, educational, anything like that. For grooming, I'm also setting aside $250. This is for haircuts, shoes, clothes, skincare. Does not include mom's makeup, although I have been tempted to add that there just so I have a budget place for makeup. I'm saving for a quarter cow in April, so I need to put $350 aside for that. The house fund is $200. We are going to be, hopefully this budget, contributing more to that because I need a new couch. And so I want to put more into the house fund and buy that couch. Vehicle, $120. Pet emergencies, $50. Gifts, $25. Birthdays, $225. Holidays, $466. Car insurance, $150. Vacation, putting aside $800. This is for our Disneyland vacation, possibly a trip to the Redwoods. Annual fees, $66. And then mom and dad is our sinking fund. We only put money in there if we don't spend our set aside budget. Bills stay the same month to month, so let's run through those really quickly. We pay $930 for our mortgage. It is a 2010 mortgage. So a lot of people are like, where are you living with such a small mortgage? I'm living 15 years ago when the housing market was completely different. Utilities, we set aside $400, internet $116, the phone bills $122, subscriptions $100. We have reduced our subscriptions recently, so I think we might actually only need 80 to 90, but we'll take a look at February to figure that out. Boys allowance is $110, Roth IRA is $583, and hubby pay is $20 a week. Let me just double check that March only has 4 Fridays. Yeah, March has 4 Fridays. For our debts, we are paying $483.95 to our Highlander. However, that is false because February, with my tax refund, I am planning to pay off that car completely. So Highlander, we will be paying $0. And the Sienna normally is an $800 payment. We're going to bump that up to $1,200. Maybe $1,300. Medical debt, I need $163, and then my extra debt payment can be quite hefty this month, which is very exciting. We'll come back to that one though. In the spending categories, I have $1,300 planned for groceries. I'm going to increase that to $1,400 because it is spring break, so we will be doing more lunches at home, which means we need more money for groceries. Restaurants, we have a lot going on this month, including 3 birthdays, a week of spring break, and an anniversary. So I'm going to increase our restaurant budget to $500. I'm doubling it for this month. Shopping, I'm going to keep at $150. Fun, I'm also going to double for spring break. We're going to put that at $200. Mom and dad are going to keep their $50 budget. Pets, we're going to keep it at $200. Gas stays at $150. Kids stays at $50. Business expenses, I don't plan on having any this month, but I've never planned on having any month, and we have had some business expenses. Medical expenses, also I don't have any planned. And then I do plan on having birthday expenses. So I'm going to have to pull money out of my birthday sinking fund. How much am I contributing to my birthday sinking fund this month? So I'm going to take my birthday contribution from $225 down to $0. And then I'm going to put my planned birthday, and I actually plan on spending close to $500 for birthdays. So I'm going to have to pull some money out of my sinking funds this month. I'm going to make that its own income category, and I'm going to plan to pull out $275. I'm not going to actually do this until I know exactly how much I need to cover our birthdays. So for vacation / birthday / holiday, I'm going to plan on $500. That's for 2 birthdays. Perfect. So all of my spending is going to be $3,250. All of my bills are going to be $2,441. My savings, including my tax contribution, is going to be $4,902. And I have $1,894.40 left to budget. So, I think it's time to get the couch. And so I'm going to go ahead and put another $800 towards our house fund. I think I also increased my house fund contribution last month. Yeah, I increased it to $652. We'll see how that shakes out. I haven't closed out February, which is usually, you should probably close out last month's budget before starting this month's budget, but I had it in my mind I was doing this month's budget. And then for extra payments, it's currently set to $345, but it looks like I can afford a full $1,400 extra towards our vehicle. We would really like to get this paid off this year. This leaves me with $39.40 left to budget. So I'm just going to put that in our kid budget. Maybe our fun budget. I don't know. And now I have a zero-based budget. So let's discuss where my money is going for the month of March. Again. Ooh. Brother, ooh. Here's a tissue. I earned $13,920.58. I am planning on pulling $275 out of my sinking funds, which makes my total income for March $14,195.58. Of that income, $2,441 is going to go towards bills. $3,289.40 is going to go towards spending. $5,702 is going to go into savings, and $2,763 is going to go towards paying off debt. Another way to look at the summary is that $4,000 of our dollars are going towards what I consider our needs, things that we have to pay for. $1,700 are going towards our wants. These are the things that we could cut out of the budget in a drop of the hat if we really need to tighten down the hatch. And then $8,465 is going into savings to plan for our future. Let me know what questions you have about budgeting. I'm going to have to make a separate video where we close down the February budget because I haven't done that yet.